Hello, Linda back from Barlates Body Blitz with another train and talk. If you do not want to listen to the chat element of this workout, head on over to the YouTube channel, choose the one that's music only. Today we're going to start straight away with our loop on. We're going to put it above the knee, pull it out, twist it, and then put our other leg through it. Now that's if you want that extra resistance. We're going to be doing some cardio bursts, and then we're going to be doing toning with a bar kind of style to it using a chair. We also need some light hand weights for some upper body segments. So the first segment is going to be just walking in place. It's a little bit extra rest today. It's going to be 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds to change over. So in the rest period, why not march in place rather than stopping altogether? Which is the very first interval is going to be marching in place. So come with me. Now, because of the loop, it's going to be a little bit restricted, but that's okay because as you pick your knee up, you're going to feel that resistance. And you also want to try and keep your legs a little bit wider so that you feel resistance in both directions. Now, pump those arms, keep your tummy drawn in, your shoulders down and back. And Minnie, the cat, is on the other side of the room. I can see her. Her favorite thing at the moment is sitting on this chair with a red towel. I'm hoping she comes back in the shot, but I cannot guarantee it because she has a mind of her own, that little thing. So hopefully she'll be back in another workout soon if she's not back in this one. So march with me. Now you can keep marching, or I'm going to show you the next exercise. It's going to be wide step, sweep, wide step, sweep. If you want it to the beat, this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so ready? Wide legs here. So it's sweep, across, or sweep, and sweep, and sweep, and sweep. If you want to do a little hop, do a little hop, but make sure you turn your inner thigh up to the ceiling. So you may be wondering why I'm loving this figure 8 loop so much at the moment. If you haven't figured it out yet, it's simply because it doesn't move around. Yes, it still curls up a little bit, but it tends to stay put. And that's really important when you're doing all sorts of lunges and squats and kicks, because otherwise it can get very frustrating. As you will know, with the loop in its regular position, just one round circle, when it goes up and down and all around. We're going to go side, side, and double. Single, single, and double. With a little knee pull. If you don't want the jump, just go tap, tap, and in. Okay? I quite like the little jump because we're not doing that many cardio segments before we go onto some arms. There she comes. Oops, sorry, Minnie. She slipped. Is that towel? I mean, I don't know why I said sorry, but you know, somehow it's my fault because I put the towel on there. That's the way we are with our little pets, aren't we? And in. So the heart rate's going to come up a little bit for the first few segments, but don't worry, we're not going to do this for the entire 30 minutes. So we're going to slow it down, and especially the 15 seconds or two. Deep breath in, catch your breath here. We're going to do skaters, this time going behind and behind. I'm leaning forward a little bit with a flat back. Now it's up to you how wide you want to go here, and it's up to you if you want a little bit of a jump, a jump, a jump, or maybe you're really upright and you're just tapping across and across, which is totally fine too. Choose your level. So today's talk is going to be about aches and pains, because most of us have aches and pains. Maybe they're old injuries, maybe they're wear and tear, maybe it's just something that you've noticed as you got older. And when it's just a little ache and pain, often we don't actually take it that seriously, and we kind of think, oh, it's just because of this or just because of that, and we tend to just let it be unless it turns into something really bad. Okay, did you see that? Squat wide and in, wide, and in. Lunge behind, lunge behind. The deeper you squat, the more you're going to feel it. Even though we're not jumping here, it's a good cardio factor. So where do aches and pains come from? They can actually be many different things, and it's something that each person individually kind of needs to identify. I personally don't think any type of pain in the body is a good thing, because ultimately your body is trying to alert you that there's something not quite right. So ignoring it could potentially end up being a bigger problem, right? So I personally don't think it's good to ignore aches and pains. The next one, nice soft knees, 2 and 2. Now pull, 2, 3 and 4. Again, 2 to the side, tap out, 2, nice and wide, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to do it slower, maybe just 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Otherwise, stay with me. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Try to keep your legs wide, even on the in, because that's going to help you get that work on the outer thighs. So I'm going to speak from my own experience, because as I said, everyone is different, and I don't want to be giving anyone advice, because my issues may not be anything to do with your issues, right? Okay, we're going to go little jump, little jump, little jump, little jump, diagonal knee pull, 3 and 4. Other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Other side, leg first, 3, 4. And the reason I am doing some impact is because it's actually good for your bones and your joints to have that extra impact to signal to them that they need to get a little bit stronger. So you may think, oh no, I've got brittle bones and I shouldn't be doing any sort of impact, but actually that is not true. As long as you do it in a safe way, it's actually really important to do something with impact. Otherwise your bones will not get that signal that they need to get strong enough to withstand it, right? Okay, we're going to come to our last segment before we pick up the weights. So if you want it, jog in place for 4 and then jumping jacks for 4. If you don't want it, 1, 2, just lift the heels and then out, 2, 3, 4. If you want it, 1, 2, 3 and 4, out, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, out, 2, 3 and 4. Go all out, because we are going to pick up the weights next and really reduce the cardio factor. Out, 2, 3, 4, tummies in, 2, 3, 4. I'll talk for the next one, because otherwise I won't be able to breathe. Okay, pick up your weights. Just come into the center, shoulders are down and back. We're going to do 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then to the back, 3 and 4. So stand in the center, biceps for 4, and then triceps to the side with little taps out to the side. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Weight is in the heels, and really stretch that leg out. So once again, you're feeling your outer thighs here. Keeping your arms in close to your rib cage as you do those biceps. 2, 3 and 4 and out. 2, 3 and 4. So I'm going to use my own example to give you an idea of a way to identify what could be going on in your body. Okay, so we're going to go in, up, back, up, down. So up, back, down and down. Bicep to tricep. Now you can keep it completely still. or you can keep it marching if you want to get that little bit of extra cardio factor. So for me personally, I noticed that I was wearing out my shoes on the outer edge more than on the inner edge, so it wasn't even. And I discovered that it was because my knees were actually slightly turning in. So that, for some reason, caused my ankles to come out of alignment, which meant I put more weight on the outside of my feet and wore the outside of my shoes down more, right? Okay, we're going to stay on one side and just go bent to straight, bent to straight. You can just go here and not use the leg, or come with me, bent to straight. Does not have to be the beat of the music. If you prefer just bent, do just bent. If you prefer just straight, do just straight, or one of each. So what did I do? Actually, before I go into that, so one of the things that happened was when I was doing a lot of step aerobics at one point, I developed heel spurs, which is plantar fasciitis. So it's basically your heel develops this extra little nodule, and whenever you walk on it, it really hurts. And it also, because I've got particularly high arches, it also causes a lot of strain in the instep part of your foot. So I used to constantly have to strap my feet in order just to be able to walk normally. We're doing that to the other side. Your arms are not getting a break, at least your leg gets a break, right? So side and out. Get down low, work your legs too. So yeah, I had to constantly strap my feet, and when it got really bad, it meant I could not do any form of impact. There is no way I could have put even that much weight on my feet, like jumping was out. So it was actually a period where I discovered bar workouts, because it did the opposite, right? So much time is spent up on your toes. So it was actually perfect for my injury. And I went from doing traditional training, lots of cardio, lots of more heavier weight training, to then completely switching up my training and doing bar, which at the time was really scary because I had never done that type of training before. Palms to the floor, up, twist, down, straight arms. So it's a front raise with a twist of the wrist. So I had to change my training completely, and luckily I was able to find some really tough bar workouts, and that kind of humbled me because I thought I was super strong. I was basically doing the hardest possible video fitness workouts I could find, like all the Beachbody, Shaun T, Insanity workouts and the Insanity Asylum, and like all of these really tough workouts that were supposed to be the most advanced, and I would still add extra equipment to make them even more advanced and just keep going and going until, you know, like I basically, let's punch across, let's just do punches, maybe stay a bit lower and widen your stance. So I would keep going until basically, you know, I felt sick at some points. That's how hard I used to push myself. And then all of a sudden from that, I had to go to Pilates and bar, to mat workouts. Can you imagine? So I was like quite upset, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me, because then I found my passion was actually in bodyweight training, and it was so much better for my body just in terms of preventing injuries. I always used to get injured because I overtrained a lot, and yeah, it was just not fun for my poor little body. And I also found that I just preferred the way I looked when I wasn't doing heavy weights. I became leaner, my posture improved because I was doing so much kind of upright posture work. And there were many, many benefits. I'm not going to go into all of the benefits of bar workouts. Now come down and we're going to walk across for 2 and do tricep kickbacks. Keep the weight in the heels. keep your arms pinned by your rib cage and really squeeze a tricep across and across. So as a result of doing so much turn out work in bar, where your feet are turned out, so your heels are together and your toes are apart, I was able to slowly correct my knee turn in, right? Makes sense. You turn out all the time and you correct the turn in situation. And as a result, my shoes didn't wear on the outside anymore. They wore more evenly. So it took a bit of time, and it was definitely something that I had to be very conscious of, but it definitely worked. So we're going to go out to the side in L shape for 4, and then in and out, 2, 3, 4. Up, 2, let's go 3. 1, 2, 3, because I realized we need to switch side. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Keep your legs wide, tummies are in, at shoulder height. 2, 3. So it probably took a good part of a year for me to fully correct, and I was doing bar for probably, sorry guys, 1, 2, 3. I was doing bar nearly 5-6 days a week. 1, 2, 3. And guess what? I ended up developing the opposite problem. When I was doing too much bar, I then got a problem with the balls of my feet instead of my heels. So it goes to show that anything you do not do it excessively. We're going to go to some standing abs. I want to reach down and then come to the side. Stay on one side, reach down and then to the side. So that's another story, and that was very easy to correct because basically I just stopped doing excessive amounts of work on my toes. But the main point of my story is that issues with my feet originated with issues from my knees, which were then also connected to issues with my hips. So your knees don't just turn in for no reason. My hips were turning in too, which then impacted so many areas. Your spine is connected to your hips, is connected to your, everything's connected. So if you have a niggle somewhere in your body, even though you think it's something small, it should be addressed. Try and figure out what the source is. Same thing other side. So we're going across and to the side. Crunch your uppers to your lowers, uppers to your lowers. If you want to drop the weights, if it's too much with the weights and the loop, just drop the weights. Because the problem is that even though it might seem like a small discomfort, it could be throwing out other parts of your body, and it can definitely develop into more issues as you age. As your bones become more brittle, as your cartilage starts to wear down when you age, there are so many things that can happen, and that small little niggle could eventually be the reason why maybe you have a bad fall. God forbid, but maybe something happens and you fracture a bone, and all of that could be connected to what's happening with your niggle right now. So we're going to go sweep across and then twist. Sweep across and then twist. So I'm not here to kind of fearmonger, and I definitely can't be 100% certain that my particular issue would have caused something down the track. But I guess I'm an advocate for the fact that our bodies are supposed to feel good. They're not supposed to hurt. I mean, of course, the muscle pain never goes astray because you've worked hard, but I'm talking about your joints, your bones, all of those ligaments and tendons. They're not supposed to just hurt for no reason. There's always a reason behind it. So if you have the chance, figure it out. If you have a niggle, if you have issues with your feet, I have so many people saying to me they've got bad feet. Other side. Big sweep and twist. And I get that, you know, like many years of wearing bad footwear, for example. Not enough support in the footwear when you're doing things like running. There's many reasons why our feet, using our feet as an example because that's what I had issues with, can have problems. But the fact is, you can always improve the health of your bones, of your ligaments, of your joints. You can improve the health. Don't let anyone tell you that you're too old to do that. And for me personally, after having all of these issues, I decided not to go down the route of wearing orthotics, which a lot of people do when they have misalignment. Most people, especially if you go to Western specialists, they'll immediately tell you, put insoles in to correct the issue so that your foot kind of gets more supported. But personally, I didn't want to do that. We're going to go across, 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 across. Then, if you can, tap your heels. So cross punch with a knee lift, up with those arms, down, down, and down. I wanted to at least try, before I went down the orthotics route, to see if I could correct the issue through being really diligent with the different exercises that I knew would help me. And lo and behold, even though it did take some time, I was able to do that. So unless it's a major issue that you definitely are not able to correct, or let's not even say correct, let's say improve, then, you know, I would only go to the orthotics or even the surgery, whatever it is, as a last resort, especially if you have not tried anything natural. Okay, and that's just my opinion. I'm not a doctor, and as I said, every single circumstance is different. But for me, working out without shoes and just being more conscious of what is happening with the alignment of my body has helped me so much. So working out without shoes means I do not get extra support. I have to consciously choose to keep my ankles aligned in the right way, to not turn my feet out, to make sure that I'm keeping my hips straight, to make sure that if my knees want to turn in, I consciously turn them back out. They're not perfect, but they're so much better than they used to be, right? And it is definitely work, just like with any change, whether it be mental or physical. It's always going to be discipline over a longer period of time until it becomes unconscious, until the change becomes so ingrained in your neurology that you don't really have to think about it anymore. Your body just knows how to stand and how to align. So my definite advice to you, no matter what you're suffering from, is you can improve. Try to figure out where the issue is coming from. If you're doing anything that's very repetitive in nature and you're not changing up your training, that can definitely be something that aggravates. Let's drop the weights and use the chair and just come into some bar work. We're going to come up into releve, heels together. All we're going to do is up and down. So push against your heels, turn out from your hips and push your knees slightly to the back. So this position right here with a tuck under, squeezing the underside of the glutes to slightly push forward the hips. This position here is exactly what was perfect for me to improve the alignment of my knees, because I'm turning out, which is going against the natural tendency of my knees to want to turn in, right? So I'm training all of my bones, ligaments, joints to go in an unnatural direction, but with continuous repetition, they were able to kind of stay there, right? And because I always do these workouts, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, pulse down, 2, 3, 4. You're starting Deep breath in. You're starting in an already tensed position. 1, 2, 3, 4 with those legs to the back. Pulse. 2, 3, 4. Hello, Minnie. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to burn. Pulse. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pulse. 2, 3, 4. Keep breathing. Come on. Keep those hips tucked. Just breathe. Okay, Minnie has decided to vacate the premises. We're going to come to the side and we're going to do leg raises. Just to the side like this. Weight is in the heel, tummies are in. You can lean on that elbow, up and down, up and down, up and down. Yeah, so if you're doing any exercise too repetitively, then it can eventually just cause that wear and tear and cause that pain. So even though it may be really difficult to give something up, maybe it's running for you, maybe it's cycling for you, maybe it's something you do nearly every day or 3 to 4 times a week, try to cut it out for a few weeks and see if the pain goes away. I had to stop doing some of my favorite workout videos because I found I was getting a glute pain that just was not going away. I tried everything and I tried to modify the positioning of my body, but because there were so many excessive squats and lunges in those routines, I just felt like, we're doing the other side, I just felt like I needed to actually take a break from it in order to allow my body to heal. So it might just be a break, it might not be too long, but at the end of the day, you would rather allow your body to heal, figure out what's going on, maybe then find ways of adjusting your positioning, your alignment, and then maybe one day you can go back to the things you love that were causing the issue, or maybe not. And that's okay too, because ultimately, what is the goal? The goal in life is to feel good, right? If you don't feel good, just because you love a certain cardio or certain weight training or certain exercises, doesn't mean that they're going to make you feel good. You might enjoy doing them, but if you're in pain, when you're not even exercising and that pain is long lasting, then it's not worth it, is it? Like, we've got to be realistic. Is it worth it? And I'm going to come to another concept that I want to discuss with you. Up on your toes, same thing we did before, knees in and out, but now with a wider gap. So we're really going to come in and press, out, come in and press, out, stay low. So the other thing I want to discuss with you, and this is not going to be popular because it's such a kind of sore point in discussion when it comes to exercise. If you're overtraining because you think that you're going to lose more weight by doing X amount of hours of cardio or X amount of hours of exercise, guess what? Not only are you causing wear and tear on your body, but you are very likely causing so much stress and increased cortisol in your body that you're actually counterproductive. You're being counterproductive. All that exercise you're doing could be doing the opposite and causing you to gain weight. So come into a single calf raise, okay? So keep that leg slightly bent, hook the other one behind it and come down and up. If this is too much, just stay double, okay? You can stay double, but if you can, let's hang in there. It's only 45 seconds total. The reason why what your exercise could be doing is counterproductive is because if you increase the stress hormones in your body too much, it actually increases your blood sugar. And when you increase your blood sugar, there's always insulin in your body trying to get the sugar out of the blood and back into the muscles or into the liver or wherever your body needs it. Now, if you constantly have insulin in your body, ouch, that really hurt. Guess what? You can't use fat as fuel. It's not possible to have your body flooded with insulin and use fat as fuel. So guess what? All of the stress that you're causing in your body, whether it be from excessive exercise, come with me, or whether it just be from not sleeping well, from eating rubbish, from just being unhappy in general in your life, maybe in your work, all of the stress in your body could be completely stopping you from losing fat and losing weight, whatever you want to call it. The cortisol belly situation is because of stress. It's a huge, huge factor, and research is showing more and more that stress plays a massive part when it comes to people being overweight, especially in the midsection, okay? So it's not a popular thing. I know you don't want anyone to mess with your exercise. Wide plie, let's put the loop under our knees. Wide plie, we're going to pulse, 2, 3, and flick. Pulse, 2, 3, and flick. You don't even need the chair. I know most people don't want anyone to mess with their exercise. They are so addicted to it, and they're so fearful of not doing it because they think they're going to get fat, and they think they're just going to put on weight like within a few days. That's just not true, people. It really isn't. When I went to Japan for 16 days, I didn't do a single day of exercise. I walked a lot and I cycled every now and then, but not a single day of exercise. And when I came back, I just went straight back into my routine, and I pretty much didn't look the same. I didn't look any different. I looked the same. I did not put on heaps of weight. You know, there was no fear there. Okay, we're going to come up on our toes, and we're going to stay on one side. We're going to come up and hydrant. If you cannot do this, then stay flat-footed, straight up in front, and hydrant. So please don't be so stressed about keeping to your exercise routine, keeping to burning X amount of calories every day, keeping to even doing X amount of steps every day, because that stress is going to cause more cortisol in the system than if you just relaxed a little bit and found ways to do activity that you enjoy, not that is necessarily the most calorie burning or the highest number of steps, but something that you enjoy doing that doesn't spike cortisol. That's why I totally changed my routine and went to, actually put it back above, it's kind of easier, and went to doing zone 2 cardio rather than high intensity cardio, doing workouts like these where you still have your heart rate elevated, but you're not huffing and puffing, you're not killing yourself, you're not even sweating. Like, I pretty much don't sweat when I do my walking workouts. That doesn't mean I'm not working hard, it just means I'm working at a level that my body doesn't feel like it needs to pump my body full of cortisol and adrenaline, because I don't want that elevated blood sugar. So if you haven't heard much about this before, I suggest you go and listen to all of my talks for my walk off belly fat series. Those ones are the ones that really talk about this in detail, and I highly recommend them because they will help you understand what's going on in your body if you do carry extra fat, and they will also help with the psychological element of not wanting to give up certain exercises. Let's just go across, stay low. I'm going to move my chair to get maximum. We're nearly done, so I want you to stay low and go wide, across and across. So I hope you guys got something out of this talk, that you're meant to feel good, your body is meant to feel good. It is possible to improve even your bones and your joints, no matter what age you are, that you can improve. You may not be completely able to fix the issue, but you can definitely make yourself more comfortable, and you can definitely stop aggravating the issue by doing things that are causing it in the first place. Let's pick up our hand weights and we'll do a couple of intervals where we're just really walking it out to get the heart rate up again before we finish, okay? Keep your legs nice and wide, and I'm just pumping my heels. I'm not lifting up and running, keeping my toes on the floor and pumping those arms. Maybe wider. Punch and punch. Tummies are in, shoulders are down and back, and breathe. So for me, I definitely choose my workouts now, depending on what I feel like doing. I never, ever choose a workout anymore because it's the hardest, because I'm going to sweat the most, because I'm going to burn the most calories. That is not on my radar at all. The most important thing for me every single day is to feel happy within myself, to feel happy with the workouts I do. We're going to do a really quick step and step with bicep curls. I try to find happiness in every day, and if something comes up that makes me unhappy, I don't spend time there. Of course, I still deal with the emotions that come up and I address the issues that come up, but as quickly as possible, I'm going to try to get back to my happy place, because a happy place means a stress-free place, or at least a low-stress place, and that is where my body can heal, that is where my body feels the best, that is where I can hear my body speaking to me, and that is where overall I have the most joyful life. So, I hope you got something out of that. We are done. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll be back with another Train and Talk very soon. Bye for now.